Good morning. How is everyone doing? I'd like to take the time and welcome you to another Morning Glory Apostolic Prophetic Center video. And today we're going to talk about let's move on. Let's move on. And yesterday we was talking about moving on into the perfection and the things of God because many of us have been following this Christian religion too long and we don't have anything to show for it. You know, that's like being in a relationship or being in a marriage and you put in all these years, but you leave with nothing. So a lot of times, just because you don't leave with nothing, naturally, you got to understand what you are leaving with spiritually. We're going to be in Exodus chapter 14 today, and we're going to talk about uh, let's move on because many of you have to finally leave situations. You got to leave people. You got to leave anything that is hindering you from being all who God wants you to do. So when we look at Exodus 14, we see Exodus as the chapter of when they escaping Pharaoh. Prophetically speaking, according to numerology, 14 is also representative of deliverance or salvation. And so we hope, or it's my prayer and hope, that the end of this message, that many of you think about what you are going through and what the bondage that you are in, and realize it's time for you to move on. Exodus chapter 14, verse 1 states, "And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, that they turn and encamp before Piharoth, between Migdal and the sea, over against Baal Zephon. Before it shall ye encamp by the sea. For Pharaoh will say of the children of Israel, They are entangled in the land, the wilderness have shut them in." And verse 4, "And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and he shall follow after them, and I will be honored upon Pharaoh and upon all his hosts, that the Egyptians may know that I am the Lord." And they did so. So what we got to see, a lot of you are in a season that you just got to move on. You got to move on from that town you in. You got to move on from some of the relationships you in. You got to move on from your parents. Some of you got to move on from your children. You got to move on from your job. A lot of you are stagnated, and you don't know you stagnated because you don't understand the position of why God placed you where he placed you. So here in verse 2, when we look at the Lord speaking to Moses, what we got to understand that God does everything strategically. So he told Moses, he said, tell the children of Israel, I want them to encamp here, between here, over by the sea, and against this. Your whole life, everything you done, for many of you, it led up to this point right here. The bad relationships, the rejection, the abandonment, the one night stands, the stealing, the lying, it's led up for this moment, because I'm trying to tell y'all, when you understand who you truly are in this season, come May 1st, them floodgates gonna open now. But you got to be positioned what God told you to be positioned. See, that's why I've been telling a lot of y'all to do certain things. Y'all get mad at me. And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel. We all children of Israel. Why you think I've been telling some of you, I'm not saying what God said. You don't hear me God say this. I'm just speaking what God told me to say. See, notice Moses didn't say God told me to tell y'all to move. Moses said, hey, you do this, 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 and this. See, so now for some of you, you're not going to get your breakthrough because you don't listen to instructions. You're going to have to understand that every time, and this if the people hear the voice of God, every time your leader or prophet or somebody that you know have a relationship with God, if they say something to you and you get upset, you get offended, that's what God after. Because that shows you in your emotions and you doing things because of how you feel, how it make you feel. You ain't doing it because God said do it. So see, watch this. For Pharaoh would say the children of Israel, they are entangled. See, some of y'all in position, God, let's just use my life. Yeah, he had no business marrying that girl. He ain't no man of God. That's why she divorced him. He did. For Pharaoh will say. See, y'all got a lot of Pharaohs in your life. And they think just because something bad happened to you, they think that is God doing it. But notice what God said. He said, I want them to think. See, they want me to think that my life messed up since I'm divorced. They want me to think I can't come back. See, they want you to think. See, God wants you to think that I'm down and out. I have never, ever, as many things I've been through, I have never been down and out. I might not have what I had or what I'm used to, but people that know me, I just be playing about, I be serious about the situation, but I be playing about TVs and spoons and that. I can buy all that again. But I'm serious about the action. But the stuff don't mean anything to me because you came in somewhere with done to nothing. But selfishness takes everything. And that's the last I'm going to say of it. See, when people don't know your walk in God, they're going to assume who you are. See, what God was saying for Pharaoh would say the children, they are entangled because, see, God had positioned the children of Israel to a point that they had no way out. That's how some of y'all is. And the reason you ain't got no way out, because you're not positioned like God told you to be positioned. See, a lot of y'all can save certain relationships, friendships, marriages. But the point is, because you don't know why God positioned you, you refusing to do what you can. You refusing to do what you can see in your own eyes sometimes is the best thing for you. I don't like staying where I stay, but it was the best thing for me. Watch this. I don't just move everywhere. God positioned me where I had to be. I had a mentally unstable man as my neighbor, and then when I sit on my porch, I'm looking at the mental hospital. But I'm in between the two. That's God showing me the stability of who I am because I listened to him, because what he was showing me that I had to understand, and I ain't understand it right then. I could have either been like that mentally unstable man, or I could have been in that I could have been in the mental hospital. But because I listened to God, see, that's why I don't care about reality. Where you position at now Some of you almost there, but you ain't quite there, because you got to notice in verse 2, God was specific of what he wanted the children of Israel to be. See, God want people to think you lost everything. God want people to think that you crazy is all back door. God want people to think that he ain't with you. Because come May, y'all gonna be looking back and say, God, dog. See, that's why in verse 4, he said, I will harden Pharaoh's heart that he shall follow after them. See, sometimes you got to understand that God, wait a minute, let's finish this. Verse 4 says, I will harden Pharaoh's heart that he shall follow after them, and I will be honored upon Pharaoh and upon all his hosts, that the Egyptians may know that I am the Lord. And they did so. See, the reason God got you in a position, because now y'all pay attention to people who say their hearts are hard. Here we see that God hardened Pharaoh's heart, because Pharaoh probably was saying, well, let them go, they ain't gonna get nowhere. But God hardened his heart that he should follow after them. See, that's why I told y'all, if you got cheated on, don't get mad at the person for cheating on you. If you got lied to, don't get mad. You don't know who God will use to sometimes show you how, watch this. He will show them how tight you ain't with God. God said, I'm gonna be honored. So watch this. God got Pharaoh as the enemy. He said, I want to harden his heart to follow after you. So when I do what I do to him, when he put them knuckles on them, they gonna know who God is. Come May, everybody that doubted God was in your life, they gonna see God was your life. That's why I've been telling y'all it's a strictness to what I'm saying and I'm doing. And so if you see Brother Hubbard around here getting blessed, I'm here to tell you, I don't loan money. I don't do no favors. I'm just going to throw that out there. I don't loan no money. What, I've been like that anyway. Huh? People used to come to me and ask me to borrow money, and they'll know I have money in my hand, or see me count it, and they'll want some. I said, no, I can't do that. I had a son. I said, if I let you borrow money, even if it is just $60, just $20, if I let you borrow money and my son call and say, Dad, I need, and I'm $20 or $60 short, I said, I feel sad because I can't get it from nowhere. So no, I can't let you borrow my money, because my son ain't gonna go without because you need. See, I come up in the way that I am. If I don't got it, I can't get it from nobody. I mean nobody. That's why I'm cautious when if God tells me to give you something or send you something, never questioning it. You better be thankful. Number one, you so unconnected with God, that should show you what God thinking about you. That's what it should show you. Number two, it should show you that God knows my need when I need it. You know how many people I said something to me? What you give me that for? Don't you know God? See, that's what I'm trying to tell some of you. You ain't got no relationship with God. Let somebody send me some money. I ain't gonna question Well, in my case, who is it for? Sometimes they'll say it for you. Sometimes it's for the ministry. Sometimes God told me to give you this. See, I have to do it that way. But even if I don't, whatever it is, my life ain't never ministry mostly anyway. See, so now we see in verse 4, God hardened Pharaoh's heart to follow after them because he wanted to let them know who he is. See, y'all around here looking for a solution out of a situation or out of some kind of bondage that the only situation that's going to come out of it is when God get the glory. He get the glory. Verse 5, and it was told the king of Egypt that the people fled, and the heart of the Pharaoh and of his servant were turned against the people. And they said, why have we done this, that we have let Israel go from serving this? Man, it's something that you can care for a person, do for a person, not just slavery, but just show a person how much you may mean to them, and then in a split second they'll turn on you. You everything but a child of God. You ain't this, you ain't that, you ain't this, you ain't that. That's damaging to anybody's ego, because the what you gonna say most of the time, you gave your all. But people that's selfish, the reason they can do that is because they just getting what they need. Y'all pay attention to that. See, for many of you that been in relationship after relationship and divorce after divorce, this time you're going to get it right. You know how you're going to get it right? Because he allowed me to say certain things that you ain't never thought about. And number one, 6-figure, 6-pack, or she stacked. If they can't hear the voice of God, you ain't got to question, is they the one? They ain't the one. Because the way they cutting up women and beating on women and killing women, and you know, they doing the man too, but mostly we're gonna talk about the women. I don't care how much money he got. If he can't lead you to God, you don't want him. He better be speaking in tongues before he's speaking you in that bed. It's finna get dangerous. Y'all need some people who got their ear to the streets when it comes to the things of God. So see, what some of y'all gonna realize, God, what y'all call the spinning the block, y'all about to have a lot of people spin the block because they just now waking up and realize who you are. Man, I sure miss that woman. I sure miss that man. Well, when I had her, I ain't had to worry about that. When I had her, I ain't had to worry about that. Shoot, ain't nothing out here. Let me call him up. Don't call my phone. I ain't got nothing for you. Listen here. I'm gonna give you can call my phone. I'm gonna give you the test. Let me pour me a little drink first. Put me a little drink. Now, I'm gonna give you a test. and the doctor prescribed this. If you call my phone, you think I'm meant for you, tell me what I'm drinking. Tell me what I'm drinking. Tell me what I'm drinking. Now, if you guess and you don't get it right, you owe me. I'm starting out at $100. Because see, I'm playing but I'm serious. You got to know that if you're going to date a man or a woman this season, they got to know something about you that you don't know about you. Now, on my behalf, because of who I am and what I've been through, it's my job to know who around me. You know what I'm saying? So I got to hear God in this season in my life for what I need. Y'all stop going around him being somebody pantry play toy. Verse 6, and he made ready his chariot and took his people with him. And he took 600 chosen chariots and all the chariots of the Egyptians and captains over every one of them. And the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he pursued after the children of Israel. And the children of Israel went out with a high hand, understanding that now God hardened his heart again. But notice he took 600. 600 in biblical prophetic numerology, that's representative of warfare. So it's evident that Pharaoh said, either I'm going to catch him or I'm going to kill him. Catch or kill. For some of you, when you do try to spin the block, because you hear what I'm saying, and if you don't want to do it God's way, when it catches up, when you spin the block and it catches, see, some of you can't be a whore no more. It's going to kill you. That's what I'm getting to. You single people, you going out here dating, don't keep asking God where my man or where my woman. They're going to have to come to you and say, God. They ain't going to have to just say it in words. They're going to have to show you some power. Because, see, that was wrong with the church. A lot of people got word knowledge with the come to God, but they ain't got no power. So it says Israel went out with a high hand, which means a lot of y'all will allow people that less than you make them think that they more than you, and you submitting to people that you got authority over. You supposed to be on top, but because you insecure, because you suffer with abandonment, because you jealous, because you haven't got over what you're going through, guess what? You down in Lodabar. But the Egyptians pursued after them, verse 9, all the horses and the chariots of Pharaoh and his horsemen and his army, and overtook them encamping by the sea beside Pihathroth before Baal Zephon. And when Pharaoh drew nigh, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them, and they were so afraid, and the children of Israel cried out unto the Lord. And they said unto Moses, because there were no graves in Egypt, hast thou taken us away to die in the wilderness? Wherefore hast thou dealt thus with us to carry us forth out of Egypt? See, the problem is, some of you so entangled with generational curses, with generational bondages, with generational trauma, that you were comfortable in your situation. See, it's not until God tried to show you better that you're afraid and want to go back. Because, see, they told Moses, we're no graves in Egypt, which means you was in a place that you didn't know what you were doing was wrong. So you didn't see the death in what you was doing. So when God take you out of it, now you struggling. Now you ain't got no money. Now you ain't got no friend. Now you just can't have freaky sex all the time with strangers. Now you scared that God won't deliver you. You scared. And even some of you got out against God. I meant to tell y'all that yesterday. Because you didn't understand the situation that you were in, and now that you in it, you mad at God. Oh, he told me. Oh, you praising his name. You giving and sowing, but you mad at God. Boy, when I found this here, well, I didn't find it. When it was prescribed to me by the doctor, woo! This is better than some of that Cavassier y'all be drinking. What y'all drinking on today? Y'all got that old that Crown Royal apple, and you mixing it up with that lime juice, and you taking a little sip. I know it. Some of you, because you're not moving to deliverance, you finna die where you at. And when I mean die where you at, I'm not necessarily talking about the natural, I mean the spiritual death. I'm talking about the natural death now. Which means the little bit that you are holding on to is going to be gone. And Moses said unto the people, ooh, I like this one here. Fear ye not, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will show to you today. For the Egyptian whom you have seen today, you shall see them again no more forever. The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. Stop trying to do it on your own. I was watching I can't think of the name of the movie now. One sort of like that Tomb Raider, that you know, that man and his wife, the Egyptian movie, the man and the wife, they getting this thing, but they was finna have a war. And they had to stick the demon with the sword. I can't think of the name of it. And they had a war, and you had the demons of God against these other men, and the demons was coming real strong. And all of a sudden, they was ready to fight, but they know they was fighting demons. And the little boy, I can't think of that movie. And the little boy got the sword, and he stole it, and the other demon caught it because he wanted to control the demons. And the other man ended up taking it from her, and he kept the demon. But in a way, the men and the demon, they finna fight. And time they got this close, because he had killed them, they turned into dust, and they just left. See, a lot of you are in a position to fight, but you fighting against God. If you go hear every message, so you got to understand a pattern. If you go hear every message I done taught this month, I'm telling y'all to get it right. I'm telling you to change your mind. I'm telling you to use your power. I'm dealing with it. I'm dealing with everything you dealing with, but you still don't want to listen. Just because you don't understand what you're going through, don't mean you ask God to get you out of it. Oh, he gonna do it anyway. They were scared. He said, stand still. And see, watch this. They were crying out to Moses to save them. That's how I do some of y'all. Moses said, listen here, just stand still and watch God. These Egyptians. See, some of y'all, your poverty finna be over with. Your homelessness finna be over with. You hear what I'm saying? But because you still in your emotions, because you still in your feelings, because you still think you right, some of y'all ain't gonna get these blessings coming in May. I'm just telling you. And once again, I don't loan money. I don't do no favors. And that's got to be many of your response, because watch this. People will see you going down through there and won't lift their hand to help. And all of a sudden, when they see you got a little something, hey, let me get something. Remember such a, I don't remember nothing. If it ain't mama and son, maybe a brother, man, it's saddened me that my brother going the same way my dad did. I was gonna say something to me, but God wouldn't open my mouth. You know, it's 7:00 in the morning, and you already smelling like alcohol. That saddens me. I kept telling them what to do, and see, sometimes you got to know you can't keep telling growns. See, that's what I be saying about these sororities and fraternities. See, your other gods mean more to you than the God. So if that alcoholic God is more important to God, I just hope he say something to God before he die. But how you know when you're gonna die? But watch this. If I'm somewhere preaching and they say, hey, your brother dead, I'll be down there. Matter of fact, I'm gonna see if he got some insurance. He ain't got no insurance, you know. Call me an opportunist if you want to. I'm a barrier, but I'm gonna put the rest of it in my pocket. I'm just telling y'all how it's gonna be around here. Yeah, I'm a barrier. So I might hit 50, 60,000, 70,000 on you, you know. I'm gonna spend 10, I'm gonna cover 50. It is what it is. Watch this. Why y'all on this earth and you don't have no life insurance? Y'all getting your hair done, you buying clothes, you buying shoes, you getting them pedicures, you buying them bootleg purses. Why you ain't got no life insurance? That shows your priority is screwed. Now somebody got to sell chicken plates and do a GoFundMe, but you was around here Gucci down to the socks. The Lord shall fight for you. Just hold your peace. Why y'all think I kept telling y'all that God ain't forgave you if you still holding the goods on somebody else's sins? If your email account full of evidence, is your phone full of evidence of somebody else sin, and you said God forgave, that's why a lot of y'all, I've been trying to tell you, that's why a lot of y'all having the health problems that you have, is because what you've been doing ain't been of God. So it's culminating for some of you in your health. Because you don't really know how to forgive. Because you're really faking that you around here okay. Verse 15, and the Lord said unto Moses, wherefore criest thou unto me? Speak unto the children of Israel that they go forward. But lift thou up thy rod and stretch out thy hand over the sea and divide it, and the children of Israel shall go on dry ground through the midst of the sea. Watch this. The children of Israel crying to Moses, Moses crying to God, why you crying to me? Do what I tell you to do. See, even if you don't believe why God telling you to do something, just do it. It was meant for you to have a mental breakdown. It was meant for you to be abused. Because God had to position you in a place that you, if you know God, you will know when you really deliver. See, some of y'all playtime deliver. You ain't really delivered. You know how many people I know preaching and teaching and holding grudges against me and don't even tell me? Why would I follow a person that won't even follow the scripture? I'm not saying that everybody perfect. Listen here, I ain't got a grudge against nobody. Not me. You know why? I can't afford to have a grudge the way God used me and taking me. I got to hear stuff. I got to see stuff. And just because I didn't shake your hand because in the greeting, you mad at me? Just because I didn't recognize you when I was introducing people, you mad at me? That's the least of your worry. Stay mad if I care. Those are people who looking for attention. I ain't giving you none. Can't get no attention over him. Woo! Boy, there's some good stuff here. Don't be out here dating these fine men and women, and they got everything but a relationship with God. All right, let me get down to the office. Y'all have a good